So, I recently stumbled across an article titled US built vehicles cost $53,000 on average, pricing out budget shoppers. And I'll be honest, when I first read that headline, I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. Now we're realizing that budget shoppers are being priced out. I mean, that ship sailed a long time ago, around the time when the average new car crept past $45,000 and $1,000 monthly payments started to become a thing. I mean, these articles are just clueless. Are we going to get new headlines every, $10,000? Next up, cars hit $60,000, out of reach for budget shoppers. Cars hit $70,000, still out of reach for budget shoppers. I mean, it's absurd. But anyways, let's dive into what this article actually says. It cites the May tariff hikes where the US government imposed a 25% tariff on imported auto parts, everything from engine transmissions to electrical components. And it says, while these measures aim to reduce reliance on foreign manufacturing, they'll also drive up the cost of vehicles assembled in the US, even if they're American made, according to this piece. Now, the average US built car now costs $53,000, higher than the already painful $49,000 average for all new cars. Now, this article attempts to explain the price bump with the usual talking points: higher labor costs, strict safety and emission standards, and a preference for larger, higher margin vehicles like SUVs and trucks. Let's break this down because not all of those reasons are valid. The first one, the labor cost argument, is a convenient scapegoat. The real issue isn't union workers and their pay, and I'm not saying I'm pro or anti-union. I'm just saying that these automakers themselves prioritize short-term profit margins over long-term sustainability. That's the main issue, not the labor costs. We've talked about this before with companies like Stellantis who jacked up prices so much that they collapsed their sales. Of course, they would later start shutting down plants instead of reverting back prices. So that's not a labor problem. That's a corporate decision-making problem. And as for emission regulations, let's not pretend they're the main culprit either. The Trump administration has been relaxing emission standards during the past few months. This has been allowing V8 engines to return. Jeep and Ram even bought back their V8 Hemis. So emission concerns aren't holding them back. Otherwise, why would struggling companies like Stellantis cut down on EVs and start bringing back gas-consuming models? It just doesn't add up. The only honest part of that quote is the last bit. Affordable small cars just aren't a priority for most US plants. That's exactly it. Automakers are choosing not to make affordable vehicles. Why? There just isn't enough profit margin in it for them. There is some profit there. They could make it work if they sell large volumes, but they don't want that. That's basically going back to the pre-pandemic era. And they feel like right now there's more money in fewer sales with higher profit margins. That's why we now have 80, 90, even $100,000 trucks sitting on a lot of these lots nowadays. And let's talk about the so-called premium in this quote. The $53,000 average for US built vehicles is only about $4,000 more than the national average. That's only a difference of roughly $80 on a monthly payment. Not exactly the catastrophe they're trying to make it out to be. They're ignoring the massive elephant in the room, which is the fact that prices are around $50,000 to begin with. I mean, it's like someone got into a horrible car crash and the paramedics are obsessing over a bruised knee. Meanwhile, this person is in critical condition everywhere else. The real problem isn't the $4,000 uptick in prices. The problem is that the average car prices have reached $50,000 in the first place. Tariffs are simply the newest excuse in a long line of excuses used to justify these ridiculous prices on cars. And look, I'm not saying that tariffs aren't causing, more issues for consumers, but the reality is long before the latest tariff hike, we had a growing list of crises that would have signaled to a lot of these automakers to cut down prices. We're talking about the car repossession numbers, the auto loan default rates climbing, dealerships sitting on huge inventory of unsold cars, and yet none of those red flags had been enough to convince automakers to adjust course and offer truly affordable models. It's as if the pandemic era rewired the industry's brain. These sky-high prices became the new benchmark, and now they refuse to let them go. Even as consumers struggle to keep up, the disconnect is just out of this world. Now, this article also talks about the used car market, which I've talked about before, and it's a nasty mess over there as well. The article notes that APRs for new car loans rose in April and that used car loans remain at a painful 11%. So even if you try to dodge a new car market and get used, you're met with the sky high interest rates. And let's not forget, used inventory is both limited and crap in quality. That means fewer good options, higher interest rates, and ultimately more financial headaches for everyday buyers. This isn't just about tariffs. High car prices are here to stay with or without trade wars. Automakers have made it painfully clear that they have no intention of going back to the pre-pandemic era. They've locked into a pricing mindset that leaves budget-conscious consumers completely behind. I mean, even the average non-budget conscious consumer is in a tough spot with these prices. And unless there's a seismic shift in like how they think or there's like a regulatory push, I don't think anything is going to change. So I know there's going to be a lot of these headlines talking about, car prices reach 55, 60, shoppers are left out here and there. They're just missing the point. The car market isn't broken because of tariffs or labor costs. It's broken because automakers have stopped caring about affordability. And until that changes, we'll keep reading these headlines and just shake our heads. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this article. As always, links to it are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to click like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.